for me personally, doing the work with NGFL and Microsoft has made me realise that to try and take the emphasis off me and put the emphasis onto the children and getting them to do the thinking, rather than me providing them with the information and then they just go off and answer some questions on it. They're actually having to think for themselves. Like I mentioned before, they're having to think about what they've learnt in the past. They're having to talk to each other. They're basically a lot more emphasis on what they're doing rather than me standing up in front delivering it all for them. That's on a personal level. For the children themselves, they love it. They love the ICT side of it. They love coming up and using the interactive whiteboard. They love doing it on computers for themselves. A few of the boys at the end of the lesson we've just had said, "I really enjoyed that, Mr. Elliott. I like doing things like that," because they have ownership over it. They get to think for themselves. They get to create their own ideas rather than here's a worksheet, answer these questions. It's also benefited the staff in school as well, because they, although we've done a lot of things about effective learning in the past in terms of thinking strategies, it's benefited them in terms of seeing actual practical resources that they can use where the children are able to again think for themselves and come up with their own ideas. A lot of the teaching staff are grateful and happy because they're able to show these things on the whiteboard and then use them as a resource with their children. And I think it's also encouraged us to think more in a theme planning way, really, in terms of thinking of a theme, and then a bit like they used to, a lot of the teachers said they used to do in the past, where they have a theme and then they find out what comes out from that, and you actually realise that a lot of thinking skill activities and communication skills and problem solving come through that way of planning.